Right, we're back. Again, this isn't the next night, this is the night after that night. Or the last video was done. So what we're going to do, we're going to strip this down to the bare bones and then start cleaning bits of it up. Now, one of the reasons I think I've been putting this off for such a long time is I think this is when the real work is going to have to start, and it's going to start getting very, very sort of like complicated, difficult. It's going to get a lot harder than it has been up to now, because it isn't really just a matter of taking it all apart and putting it back together again. We've got things like the battery. We're going to have to buy the battery, then we're going to have to see if it will fit, and we're going to have to make the clamp properly so it holds it into place and all of that kind of stuff, and the wiring loom. All of the foot pegs, where I've made everything, I've just kind of made it but not finished it, if you know what I mean. And so now when it goes back together, everything is going to have to be finished. So it's going to take quite a long time, this, I think. But we've got to start, because if we don't start, we won't get anywhere, will we? So the first thing I'm going to do is to take it apart, and all I'm going to do, I think, got to try not to, or I've got to make sure that I don't lose any of the bits to this when it's coming apart. I keep putting bits down and misplacing them, and then it takes me ages to find them again. The problem is every now and then I bring things into the garage, and so I need to leave a good space clear. So I'm going to have to put all of the bike, I think I'm just going to lay it all out on the floor down here in front of the toolbox, but not to the point where I can't get to the toolbox. Nothing is properly bolted on, so I'm hoping it won't actually take too long at all to strip it down to the bare bones. Okay, but I'm just gonna crack on and do it. So what I'll probably do is I'll just leave you recording over there. I've got a new phone, so it might be a better quality. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I don't know how much space is on it, and I probably won't hear it if it bleeps to tell me that it's run out of space for videoing. But what I do, I'll just leave it recorded, and then when I play this back, or when I put it on, I'll just fast forward over the taking offy sort of bits to it anyway. Okay, so that's our plan. Once we have got it all taken apart and taken off, the first thing I'm going to do, and I want to try and do this over sort of the Christmas time off work, the first thing I want to do is try and clean the engine up. It was dirty anyway. Very dirty anyway, but you can see where it's been in here, how dusty the thing is. I mean, it is saturated in dust, just absolutely covered. And so, like I say, first thing we're going to do, we're gonna have a go at shot blasting this in. We'll take the gearbox off of the engine, and then we'll just have a go at cleaning it. I've got some somewhere. Oh, I can't bother to get it out now. Oh, down in there in the corner, there's some walnut shells for the sandblaster, and we sort of use them for decoking the insides of engines and things like that. So they're not very abrasive, but they're quite abrasive. And I'm going to have a go at that around the engine and just see how well it will clean the engine up. Okay, so that's it. That's what we're going to do. Just in case my mate doesn't come back to me with this video of his bike, I'll show you my guard. Look, so I've got two little bars coming up. These bolts will change. Okay, so yeah, I mean, this is it, isn't it? This is, like I say, well, these bolts will change. Lots of the bike is this. I keep saying, oh yeah, well, I'll do that then, I'll do that then, I'll change this to that and everything else. So now, this time round, it's all going to have to be done. What I really don't want to do is get the completely polished look, because it's got a bit of a, it's always had a bit of a done in a backstreet garage look about it, because it has been. and I want to try and keep that. I don't want it to be, you know, don't get me wrong, it's not gonna be, but I don't want it to be perfect. Okay, I think you know what I mean. When it comes to the styling of it, I want it to look like I've made it. I don't want it to look like someone's spent blooming 20 grand getting a professional to make it. Okay, so I will put you back on your perch over here. Foster's, lots of Foster's, that'll keep us going. I'm going to put you back on your perch. I'll leave you there for a minute. I think that's looking at okay. And you can stay there while I go and start taking things apart.
Rabbit, 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 rabbit. You got a beautiful chin. You got beautiful skin. You got a beautiful face. You got taste. You got beautiful eyes. You got beautiful thighs. You got a long without a doubt, but I'm thinking about blowing you out. 'Cause you won't stop talking. Why don't you give it a rest? You got more rabbit than Sainsbury's. This time you got it off your chest. Now you was just the kind of girl to break my heart in two. I knew right off when I first set my eyes on you. But how was I to know you'd been my ear holes too? With your incessant talking, you're becoming a pest. Rabbit, 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 rabbit. Now you're a wonderful girl. You got a wonderful smell. You got wonderful arms. You got charm. You got wonderful hair. We make a wonderful pair. Now I don't mind having a chat, but you have to keep giving it that. No, you won't stop talking. Why don't you give it a rest? You got more rabbit than Sainsbury's. This time you got it off your chest. Now you were just the kind of girl to break my heart in two. I knew right off when I first set my eyes on you. But how was I to know you'd been my ear holes too? With your incessant talking, you're becoming a pest. Rabbit, 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 yep, rabbit, yep, rabbit, rabbit, bunny, jabber, rabbit, yep, rabbit, bunny, rabbit, jabber, rabbit, yep, rabbit, bunny, bunny, jabber, rabbit.
So we have our engine out here, fantastic. And we've got our gearbox over here. So we're going to have a go at cleaning these up, aren't we? So we'll get the old sandblaster out again. So we'll have to build our painting and sandblasting room again, which means we've got to move all of this junk from around here. So we'll get that done and be with you shortly. So we have then made our room again. I love this. I think this is just a thing of genius, this little room here. As you can see, the rest of it is all a bit piled high and messy. Within our room we have one engine which we're going to cover up because we're not going to do that first. I think we do the gearbox first. I have then some of the old media still. Remember when we were doing the wheel, we've got that old grit stuff. And in here is it's like sawdust. That's sawdust. Walnut granules. And it's pretty tough, but it's a bit forgiving, which I think would be a real good one to try first. So we're going to try that on the gearbox. Okay, that'll be the first thing we do. Now Now then, for God's sake, I've lost some nozzles. You know, I had to make some nozzles and everything else for this. I can't find them anywhere. I've taken them out, put them down, and oh, there's my hat. I put them down, and yeah, they've gone missing. So I'm going to spend another little bit of time finding them. It's now got too late for me to do this because it's a very noisy job, this, because of the compressor. So I'm going to find the nozzles, then I might go and sit in there and post this video. Why not? You give me something to do. And then the next video we'll see whether or not that does what we want it to do. Poor gearbox. Okay. So, say goodbye for now, bike. We'll speak to you in a while.